Good day, I am Alan Brian Kabisay, and today I will be discussing the importance of safety and health in the construction industry. So, without further ado, let's start. So, the civil engineering industry is one of the biggest industry in modern times. It is also an industry where extensive use of labor is required and where such large amount of human labor is involved. That is the reason why a matter of safety arises. So, in the construction industry, to build a productive workforce, it is essential that management strives to meet the workers' social, psychological, and welfare needs and take steps to humanize work and work environment. So this industry is very prone to hazards, and these hazards can lead to accidents. So it's very important that safety precaution should be acquired. So here are some few facts that are true if you are working in the construction industry. So the first week on each new site is considered the most dangerous time for construction. So activities under these times are excavation and etc. No? And also accidents are more frequent to happen at the end of the day. So it is understandable that the workers are already tired during these times because of long working hours, and also the amount of sunlight is not enough, so this contributes to the frequent accidents that are happening. Also, safety helmets, jackets, safety boots can prevent injury and death, and lightweight shoes such as trainers or runners are not suitable on site. So in working in the construction field, we should wear the proper clothes in order to prevent accidents to happen. So, why does the issue of safety arises? So, because of the frequent accidents, there is a loss of labor, money, time, and material. And also, due to accidents, there is also a loss of reputation of the builder. So, if you are the contractor and you have a bad record of accidents that happen under your leadership, no, it is a stain to your reputation. So, as a contractor, we don't want that to happen. So we are saying accidents previously. So basically, what are accidents? So accidents are readily recognized when there is a damage to properties and someone is injured. But generally, an accident is defined as an event which is unexpected or the cause of which is unforeseen. Also, any occurrence that interrupts or the cause of which is unforeseen. However, it is not always easy to determine up to what extent the accidents are the direct result of working environment only. So there are factors to consider in determining sources of accidents. So it can be unsafe equipment at work areas, long working hours that may cause fatigue, and also improper living condition and improper working condition is a factor to consider. So in the construction industry, there are many types of accidents that are happening. So here is the breakdown of fatalities according to type of accident in construction industry. So based on data, 56% falls from heights, 21% is struck by something collapsing or overturning, 10% struck by a moving vehicle, 5% contact with electricity or electrical discharge, 4% struck by a flying or falling object during machine lifting of materials, 3% contact with moving machinery or material being machined, and 1% exposure to a hot or harmful substance. So this is why safety precautions should be observed in the construction field, because many types of accidents happen in just one carelessness of a worker, no? And it can cause injuries and deaths. So we have three classifications of the causes of the accidents in the construction industry. The first is the human causes, faulty working methods, and also structural failure. So let's dig deeper to this one. So for the human causes, the factors are syempre, lack of knowledge, lack of interest in work, other personal factors, lack of skills, carelessness in supervision. So if you are working in the construction field, you should know what you are doing, because if you are not knowledgeable enough in what you are doing, you can be the source of accidents and can lead to injuries and deaths of yourself or other workers. So also, for the faulty working practices, the one factor is the use of substandard materials and striking against objects, no use of protective equipments, no site layout, and improper storage of materials. So, minsan sa kagustuhan nating maka-lessen sa cost, some contractor use substandard use of materials. So, because of this, it can be cause of an accident. So for the structural failures, example for this are failure of foundation, faulty design, natural calamities. So faulty design, upon doing structural analysis, maybe the loads that are considered are wrong, or also the sections are not adequate for such loadings or other variables. No? So that causes structural failures. So, how to avoid the most common accidents in the construction site? So, we have several methods or steps to avoid the frequent accidents to happen in the construction field. So, when working at heights, these are the general notes for heights hazard on construction sites. So, using ladders or scaffolding without proper fixing is crazy. So, when before using ladders, we should first secure that it is sturdy enough to not move. And also, never use incomplete scaffolding. Make sure there are handrails and toe boards at all edges. And always wear helmet to prevent injuries from falling objects on site. And before starting work at heights, check for clearance from any overhead power lines. Also, we should observe the proper and safe use of ladders. So in the construction field, we oftenly use these ladders when working at heights. No? So first is never allow more than one person on a ladder. Also, use tool belts or hand lines to carry objects. Do not lean from the ladder in any direction. And if you have a fear of heights, just don't climb a ladder. And do not allow others to work under a ladder in use. So, yun. So, and also if doing an excavation work, if you want to avoid being buried alive, apply these rules. So first, all excavation deeper than 1.25 meters must be shored or battered. Also, excavation deeper than 2 meters must have a guardrail or barrier, and vehicles stepping into the excavation must use stop blocks, and we should make sure that the excavation is inspected daily, and make sure you know where underground pipes and cables are before you hit them. So we should always remember that there is no safe ground that will not collapse. So ways to ensure safety. So there are many ways to ensure that the proper safety is provided on the site. So here are given some of the ways to see how we can provide safety on site. So we have role of the designer, safety program, appointment of safety officer, and provision of personal protective equipment. So let's dig deeper to these factors. So what are the roles of the designer in securing safety in the construction workplace? So in the development of a project, a significant role is played initially by the designer of the project and then by the constructor of the project. Construction worker safety has often been regarded the sole responsibility of the construction's contractor. And while designing, the building can be designed in such a manner that it becomes easy and safe for the construction of the higher part of this structure. So, also, despite the obvious reasons for placing the primary responsibility on the contractor, the safety performance on a project may well be dictated to a large extent by decisions made by the designer. So, yun. Also, a safety program. So it is important because most of the accidents that take place are mostly due to the lack of knowledge and skill of the workers and the supervisors. So this can be improved by holding a safety training camps for the whole site, staff, and workers. Specifically trained personnel should be hired to hold safety camps. Also, whenever recruiting a new worker, their experiences should be checked and adequate knowledge of the work should be given to them. And also, keep a record of all accidents that took place in the construction field. So next is the role of safety officer. So a safety officer should be specifically appointed to take care of all the safety related issues of the construction site. And appointing such an officer helps to ensure the health and safety of the staff. So if there are accidents or that happens in the site, the number one person that is responsible to this is the safety officer. So the function of safety officer is very crucial in the working field. So next is the PPEs. So the personal protective equipments are the most basic front of protection and safety for the workers. So there are various PPE according to the type of work, but the few basic PPE are PPE for head protection, for eye protection, for ear protection, for hand, and for work on higher floors, and also respirators. So these are just some examples. So now let me share to you the basic safety philosophies for success. So we should always remember that all accidents are preventable. No job is worth getting hurt for. Every job will be done safely. All incidents can be managed. Safety is everyone's responsibility and continuous improvement. Also, safety as a way of life for 24 hours a day, and all individuals have the responsibility and accountability to identify, eliminate, or manage risk associated with their workplace. Also, legal obligations will be the minimum requirement for our health and safety standards, and individual will be trained and equipped to have the skills and facilities to ensure an accident-free workplace. So that would be all. I hope you learned something, and thank you.